You must be wondering why there are so many programming questions that revolve around finding a certain element based upon some certain conditions. Well, that is because when you're writing code at a very large scale, let us say you're joining a company and you have to write a code for a very small module, then these fast searching techniques help you to write some better code. Based upon this idea, we have a programming question available on LeetCode. You are given a sorted array and a target element, and you need to return the first and the last index of this element. Let me give you a hint. This can be easily done via binary search. If you want a quick solution and just want to see the code, refer to the link in the description below to my GitHub profile. However, if you want to see some animations and visuals about how I came up with that solution, stick with me a little longer. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, a place where we explore technology and make programming fun and easy to learn. First, I will explain you the problem statement and show you some sample test cases. Next, we will try to come up with a brute force solution to the problem and see where it fails. Going forward, we will try to come up with an efficient solution to the problem followed by a dry run of the code. Without further ado, let's get started. The best way to understand any new problem is to understand the given sample test cases. In this problem, you are given a sorted array nums and you are given a target value 8. What you need to find out is, in this array, find the first occurrence of 8 and the last occurrence of 8. And you have to return the indices of these. You all know that array has a zero-based indexing, right? So in this array, the indexes would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? If you try to find out the occurrences of 8, this is the first occurrence and index 4 is the last occurrence, right? So in this case, your answer should be 3, 4, correct? Similarly, let us look at our test case number 2. You have the nums array that is sorted and you are given a target value of 6. You cannot find out 6 anywhere in this array, right? So as per the question, in this case, you need to return -1 and -1 as your answer. That means you were unable to find out the element. Similarly, let us take up one more test case. Now, this is a kind of an edge case. You are again given a sorted array and you have a target value. But this time, all the values of the array are same as the target value. And you again have to return the first index and the last index. If you look at the indices of the array, what is the first index of 3? That is 0, correct? And what is the last index? That is 4, right? So your answer should be 0, 4. Now, if you have understood the problem statement correctly, feel free to try it out on your own. Otherwise, let us dive into the solution. To make sure that we have understood the problem correctly, let us try to come up with a brute force solution. A good developer always tries to do that because that can help you to ensure that, hey, a solution to this problem exists. So let us say we are given this sample array that is sorted and you have a target value of 4, right? Now, to start off, first let me just label the indices of each element of the array. So now you know the index of each element. For example, the index of this element 4 is 2 and the index of this element 6 is 7, right? Now let us look at a target value, that is 4. One way to approach this problem would be to start from the beginning and compare if you have found the target value. So you start off with the first value, that is 2. That does not equal to 4, right? So you move ahead. 3 does not equal to 4. So you again move ahead. And then you find a 4. As soon as you find a 4, that means this is the starting index, right? So what you can do is you can store the starting index at some place. So I stored the position 2. Now what you can do is you can again start to move ahead. I move on to my next element and that is again a 4. This could be the last element, but we still have to keep exploring ahead. I move ahead and I again see a 4. Now this could also be the last element. And to confirm this, I will go on to my next element once again. And this time I see a 5. 5 is not equal to our target element, that is 4. And hence, this 4 is my last position of the target element. And look at the index of it. It is 4, right? So you can write down 4 as your last index. And that's it. You do not need to travel any further ahead because it is a sorted array and all the elements would be greater than 4, right? So now you can conclude that, hey, this is my answer. And in fact, this is the correct answer. But do you see the problem with this approach? This was a very small array and still you had to compare each element, right? What if your array was very large? Let us say you have 100,000 elements and the range of the target value is somewhere between starting and the beginning. So you will have to keep on comparing each value to the target value. And this will take up a lot of time. This complexity would turn out to be order of n. And we can supposedly do faster than it. If you realize, we never take any advantage of the fact that this array is already sorted. That means there could be an efficient solution out there. Let us try to find it out. When you start to think about an efficient solution, first try to think about the areas that you can improve upon. If you look at the brute force solution, the space complexity was just order of 1, right? Because we were not taking any extra space. So you cannot improve over there. But the time complexity was order of n. So that is where we can make some improvements. Let us say you are given this sample sorted array, right? And I ask you that, okay, find me the position of element number 3 in this. What would you do straight away? Binary search has a time complexity of order of log n, and you will try to apply that, right? So first of all, what you're going to do is you will divide this array in two parts, right? You see that, hey, 3 is smaller than my middle element 5. So I need to search in the left half of this array. You take up this array and once again, you will try to split it up into two parts. Now you will look at the target element and the middle element 1 and 2. The target element is greater, right? So this time you will look at the right half of this array and I get my new array. You can again apply binary search and divide this array in two parts. And this time when you look at the middle element, you will find the value 3, right? And voila, you were able to find the target element 3 in log n time. So based upon this idea, maybe we can find out the first and last occurrence of the same element in log n time as well. Let us look at our array once again. So you see, we have the same array in front of us. But this time, instead of finding the target element 3, let us try to find out the target element 5. If you look in this array closely, you can see that 5 does not exist just once, but it exists a lot of times, right? And as per the problem statement, this would be your first occurrence of the element 5, and this would be your last occurrence of the element 5. And you have to return both of these indices, correct? Once again, try to think back about binary search. If you had to apply the binary search algorithm over here, what would you do? First of all, you would divide this array in two halves, right? And then you would be looking at the middle element. As soon as you look at the middle element, you see that, hey, it is 5. So what do you do next? You could be confused. But this is a sorted array, right? So try to think for a while. You need to find the element 5, but you need to find its first and last occurrences. Both of these elements will have some special properties. The first occurrence would have a value to the left that would be smaller, right? And the last occurrence would have a value to the right that would be greater than the target element, right? So in your binary search algorithm, when you are searching that, hey, is my middle element equal to the target element? You also need to search if your left element is smaller. If your left element is smaller, then you are at the correct starting position. And if your right element is larger, then you are at the correct ending position. So what you can simply do is you can apply the binary search algorithm two times. First, to find the first occurrence of your target element, and then once again to find the last occurrence of your target element. For example, in this case, I will apply the binary search algorithm on this part. And I will find out that, hey, This is my first occurrence. Once again, what I will do is I will apply the binary search algorithm on this second half. And in the second half, I will find out that, hey, this is my last occurrence of the target element. So after two binary searches, you can find out the first occurrence of the target element and you can find out the last occurrence of the target element. And this will give you your answer. Now, let us try to do a dry run of the code and see how it works in action. On the left side of your screen, you have the code to implement this solution. And on the right, let us take up a sample sorted array and a target value 7. Now, both of these parameters are passed in as an input argument to the function, right? Next, what we're going to do is we will find out the left bound of the target element and the right bound of the target element. And once we have found out both of these indices, we simply return our answer, right? So far, so good. Let us now actually look into one of the functions. Let us look at the find left bound function. Now, this method is supposed to find the leftmost occurrence of the target element. So let us go step by step. We have the variable index that will actually return the index of the leftmost occurrence. Currently, it is set to -1. Then we have our standard variables that we need for a binary search, the low and the high. What we do next is we start our standard binary search procedure. We find the middle element and then we will try to see that, hey, is my middle element equal to the target element? If you look at this particular test case, the middle value is 7, right? And this value 7 is equal to the target element. So what do we do? You don't stop over here. What we're going to do is we will store this index somewhere and then what we will say is let us search our element in the left half of the array. So I will mark my value of high to be mid -1. That means I will be only looking in first half of the array, correct? And after that, it is a standard binary search procedure. What will happen again is you will again look at the middle value. This time when you will try to find the middle value, you will land at this 7 and this will again point to the target value. You will again update your index and you will again try to find in the left half of the array. You won't find it any further. Once this iteration of binary search completes, you will find out that the value of left would be equal to 1. That is the leftmost index, right? And once this is done, what we are doing next? We are finding the value of right. Let me show you the function find right bound really quick. So once again, if you see, we have a variable index that will return the actual index of the rightmost occurrence. And then once again, you have your standard variables for performing the binary search. Next, you start your standard binary search. You find out the middle element and once again, you will try to match if your middle element is equal to the target, right? This time again, the middle value will match, right? And what we do is we simply store this index. But at the same time, what we also do is we will do low equals to mid plus 1. That means we will look in the rightmost part of your array now. This loop will run again, the iteration will happen again, and you will try to perform binary search in this second half. Once this loop ends, you will find out the value of right would be equal to 3. And ultimately, 1 comma 3 would be your answer. So you see, we just performed binary search 2 times. That is a time complexity of order of log n plus log n. So eventually, the total time complexity of this solution would be just order of log n. And this is certainly an improvement over the brute force approach, right? I hope I was able to simplify the problem and its solution for you. As per my final thoughts, take a moment to think how we were able to cleverly use binary search over here. Sure, when you learn and study about the binary search algorithm, you are only looking to find a certain element, right? But it is always a good idea to think a little broad and derive new solutions that can help you to solve these kind of problems. Just as a rule of thumb, whenever you see the term sorted array and you have to find some elements, binary search should be the first thing that comes to your mind because it gives you a runtime complexity of order of log n. And it is always a good idea to write fast code, right? Where else have you found binary search to be useful? What other methods did you try to solve the problem? Let me know everything in the comment section below and I would love to discuss all of them with you. You would be also glad to know that a text-based explanation to this content is available on the website studyalgorithms.com, a pretty handy website for your programming needs. You can find a link in the description below. As a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This motivates me to make more and more such videos where I can simplify programming for you. Also, let me know what problem do you want me to solve next, or rather, what do you want to learn next. Until then, see ya.